Tonight, you are invited on a gentle journey into the past, a journey through whispers of history and echoes of forgotten dreams. A story meant not just to teach but to soothe, to calm your thoughts, and to guide you slowly into the quiet world of sleep. The theme of tonight's tale is ancient dreams. How early people saw and understood sleep, a subject as mysterious as the night sky itself. For thousands of years, humans have wondered what sleep truly means, why we drift into silence each night, and what the visions of our dreams might reveal. In ancient civilizations, dreams were never thought of as random. They were seen as messages from the gods, as warnings, as glimpses into the future, or as hidden wisdom of the soul. Egyptians kept dream journals. Mesopotamian priests read omens in visions, and Greek philosophers believed sleep was a sacred bridge between mortals and the divine. Isn't it fascinating to imagine that what we today call a dream was once considered a divine prophecy? Before we begin this calming tale, I would like to ask you gently, if you find peace in these stories, if they bring you comfort and help you rest, then please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who may need a gentle story to ease their night. Your support helps me bring more journeys like this, and it means more than I can say. Now, let us drift back slowly into the soft darkness of the ancient world, where night falls upon stone temples and desert sands, and where dreams are waiting, timeless, mysterious, and filled with wonder. Tonight, as the gentle hours unfold, let us begin our journey into the world of ancient dreams, a place where time slows, where silence gathers, and where stories flow like a calm river beneath the stars. Close your eyes for a moment, if you wish, and imagine a world thousands of years ago, a world without electric light, without the restless hum of machines, without the endless noise of modern life. In that quiet world, night was deeper, the sky was darker, and dreams felt closer, more alive, more powerful than we can often imagine today. In the ancient lands of Mesopotamia, people believed that sleep was never just sleep. It was a journey of the soul, drifting from the body and wandering through hidden realms. They thought that in dreams, the gods whispered secrets, offering guidance or warnings. And so, every dream carried weight. Every vision was sacred. Every fragment of sleep was like a bridge to the divine picture. A simple clay house in a Mesopotamian village. A small oil lamp flickering softly. A family gathered together after the day's labor. When night fell, silence grew heavy, and one by one, the villagers would lay upon woven mats, listening to the faint rustle of wind against reed walls. As eyelids closed, the body surrendered, and dreams began. Some dreamed of rivers overflowing, others of strange animals or voices calling from afar. To them, such visions were not random at all, but signs, omens to be read carefully the next morning. Priests in those days were not only keepers of temples, they were interpreters of dreams. People would come at dawn, offering bread, honey, or coins, asking the priest to explain what their dreams meant. A lion in the night might symbolize a coming war. A broken jar could mean misfortune. A soaring bird could mean freedom or the blessing of the gods. And so, entire villages leaned upon dreams to guide their choices, to shape their hopes, and to soothe their fears. Now, drift further with me across the desert sands until we reach the land of Egypt, where the pyramids rise against the horizon, and the Nile flows like a silver thread through the dark. In Egypt, too, dreams were cherished, not as illusions, but as revelations. The temples of their gods often had special chambers called dream sanctuaries. places where people would sleep in hopes of receiving visions. They called this practice incubation, the art of seeking wisdom through sleep. Imagine lying upon a stone bed in such a sanctuary, the air filled with the scent of burning incense, the chanting of priests echoing faintly in the distance. You close your eyes, and as the night deepens, you hope for a vision of the god Serapis or Isis. Perhaps they will appear in your dream, offering healing, or an answer to a question that weighs upon your heart. When morning comes, priests would record your visions upon papyrus, carefully preserving what the gods had spoken through sleep. Isn't it calming, dear listener, to think that once dreams were treated with such reverence that sleep itself was not only rest but a sacred act, a nightly voyage into mystery, a moment when the soul brushed against the eternal, when mortals touched the edge of the divine. As you listen to these gentle tales, allow yourself also to drift, as the ancients drifted, into their quiet night, into the soft embrace of dreams where the mind is free, where time no longer matters, and where perhaps, even now, something greater waits to whisper in the silence of your sleep. So let part 1 close like the slow setting of the sun, as you rest within this ancient night. Let the stars above you shimmer, let the winds calm your breath, and let dreams carry you further, deeper, softer still. And so, dear listener, as the stars still shine in the ancient sky, we step gently forward into another night of forgotten lands, carrying with us the hush of Mesopotamia and the reverence of Egypt, drifting onward into new worlds where dreams shaped the lives of those who came before us. Now let us travel slowly to the mountains and olive groves of ancient Greece, where philosophers, poets, and healers looked upon sleep not only as mystery, but as medicine for the soul. Here, dreams were seen as messages of wisdom, and also as windows into the human spirit, places where thought, memory, and hope wove together like threads in a tapestry. The Greeks believed in hypnos, the gentle spirit of sleep, son of the night itself, and twin brother of peaceful rest. They imagined him drifting through the world on soft wings, touching the eyes of mortals so they might dream. The poets described him as carrying poppies, symbols of calm and slumber, and with every touch, weariness melted and peace returned. In the valleys of Greece stood the temples of Asclepius, the god of healing. Within these temples, people came not only for herbs or remedies, but to rest and sleep in the sacred halls, waiting for dreams. These dreams, it was believed, carried visions of comfort and guidance. Some dreamers saw rivers, some saw stars, and others saw shining figures offering gentle reassurance. In the morning, priests listened carefully, writing down the dreams as treasures, for in their eyes, dreams were not illusions, but gifts. Even the greatest minds of Greece pondered dreams. Philosophers like Aristotle and Plato wrote about their meaning. Aristotle thought dreams could reflect the workings of the body, while Plato believed dreams were glimpses of a higher truth, a way for the soul to remember what it once knew. And so, for the Greeks, sleep was not just the absence of waking, but a chance to learn, to heal, and to touch the mysteries of existence. Let your thoughts rest in this place for a while. Imagine lying beneath a Grecian sky, cicadas humming softly in the distance, olive trees swaying with the night breeze, the air warm but gentle. Above you, constellations gleam, telling stories of heroes and gods. And as your eyes grow heavy, you feel the presence of Hypnos himself, brushing your eyelids with his feathered touch, guiding you slowly, peacefully, into the dream realm. From Greece, the story flows onward across the seas into the Roman world. The Romans inherited much from Greece, yet made it their own. In Rome, dreams were often considered omens for life, guidance for journeys, or inspiration for art. Generals, poets, and families alike paid attention to the visions of sleep, treating them as gentle messages from the unseen world. Roman households often had small shrines where family members prayed for peaceful rest. Mothers whispered charms over their children before bed, calling on the household spirits to protect their sleep. Soldiers on distant journeys lay beneath the stars, believing that the night sky itself might offer them strength and comfort. Poets like Virgil and Ovid wrote of dreams as sacred doors, portals through which the human heart glimpsed both hope and wonder. Now, dear listener, let us pause and breathe deeply, for all these cultures remind us of one truth: that sleep was never just rest, never only silence. It was a cherished ritual of life. Every dream was honored. Every night was sacred. Perhaps tonight, as you listen, you too may feel that same reverence, that same quiet awe, as if the simple act of closing your eyes connects you with thousands of years of human wonder. So let the story rest here for now, with Greece fading softly into Rome, with voices of priests, poets, and dreamers still echoing in the night. Let your own thoughts sink deeper, calmer, softer, as dreams begin to brush gently at the edges of your mind, waiting patiently to lead you onward into the next chapter of this timeless journey. As Rome rests quietly in the distance, let us drift onward, as if carried by a gentle tide, to explore more of the ancient world, where dreams remained a constant mystery, binding people to the divine, to destiny, and to the deepest corners of their own hearts. The Romans, as you remember, placed much trust in dreams, believing that visions could guide their choices. Yet, beyond the grandeur of emperors and soldiers, there were also the simple lives of farmers, mothers, and children, each closing their eyes beneath the same star-filled sky. Picture a humble Roman villa, its courtyard bathed in moonlight, the soft sound of crickets rising in the warm summer air. A child lies curled beneath a woven blanket, whispering a prayer for safety, while a mother, watching over them, feels her own eyelids grow heavy, wondering what gentle dream the night will bring. Some dreams were recorded with great care, preserved in writings that have lasted through centuries. One Roman writer, Artemidorus, created a book called The Interpretation of Dreams. In it, he shared how visions might carry meaning. A storm could reflect change. A feast might suggest joy. A journey might reveal new beginnings. His words spread widely, guiding dreamers long after he was gone, reminding us how deeply the ancients cherished the messages of the night. Now, let us gently turn our gaze eastward to the great civilizations of India and China, each with its own understanding of dreams, rich with philosophy and faith. In India, dreams were written about in the sacred Vedas and Upanishads. Here, dreams were not only omens, but also reflections of the soul's journey. Hindu sages spoke of different kinds of dreams, some born of daily thoughts, some carrying deeper truths, and some offering glimpses of the soul's path through time. Imagine a quiet Indian ashram long ago. Monks lie upon simple mats woven of reeds, the fragrance of sandalwood drifting into the night. One by one, their eyes close, and in sleep they see rivers, mountains, and radiant figures of light. At dawn, they rise gently, chanting prayers, sharing their visions with their teacher, who helps them understand whether a dream comes from the restless mind or from the eternal self that wanders far beyond waking. China, too, held dreams as precious mysteries. Philosophers like Confucius spoke of the wisdom hidden in visions, while Taoist masters believed dreams could open doors to harmony between the worlds. One of the most famous tales comes from the philosopher Zhuangzi, who dreamed he was a butterfly, fluttering softly from flower to flower. When he awoke, he wondered, was he a man who had dreamed of being a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming he was a man? This gentle riddle reminds us of the thin veil between waking and dreaming, and how beautiful the mystery of life truly is. In ancient China, dreams were often seen as bridges between generations. Families believed their ancestors could appear in visions, offering comfort and gentle guidance. A farmer might dream of his father's voice encouraging him in the fields, or a traveler might see a familiar figure pointing toward a safe path. Even emperors valued the quiet wisdom of dreams, treating them as gifts that could inspire choices of peace and harmony. Let us rest here for a while, dear listener, drifting in the calm between these great civilizations: Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, Rome, India, and China. Though separated by deserts, rivers, and seas, they were united in one belief: that dreams were sacred, not illusions, but treasures of the soul. Is it not soothing to imagine that across lands and languages, people once closed their eyes with the same gentle hope? That the night would whisper answers, that sleep would bring healing, that dreams would guide the heart. As you breathe softly now, let that thought settle over you like a warm blanket, that you are part of this timeless human story. Your dreams, too, are threads in the same great tapestry, woven by countless souls who drifted into night, listening for the hidden voice of eternity. So let this part close as softly as a candle dimming in the dark. The ancients rest quietly in their temples, in their homes, in their gardens, each carrying visions in the silence of the night. And you too, dear listener, may allow your thoughts to grow lighter, your eyes heavier, your breath slower, as we prepare to step still deeper into the endless journey of ancient dreams. The candle of the last part fades, and we step deeper still into the quiet stream of memory, carried softly from China's dream temples and India's sacred chants into other corners of the world, where sleep remained a bridge between the human and the divine. Let us now journey to the northern lands, where the cool winds brushed against wooden halls, where fires glowed warmly through long nights, and where the Norse people, the Vikings of old, placed meaning upon their dreams. In those winters, when darkness stretched across the sky for many hours, dreams carried a special light, for they broke through the stillness of night and offered glimpses of what was to come. Norse sagas, told around the fire, often spoke of dream visions. Heroes who saw signs in the stars, women who dreamed of ravens circling above, symbols of Odin, the All-Father, God of wisdom. To the Norse, dreams were not idle illusions. They were threads woven by the Norns, the mysterious weavers of fate. Imagine a Viking traveler, resting after a long day's journey, his heavy cloak wrapped tight, the gentle crackle of the fire beside him. As his eyes close, he dreams of a ship sailing into mist, or of a shining figure walking through the trees. Such visions were honored, for in the North, dreams were seen as part of life itself. But it was not only warriors who dreamed, dear listener. Farmers, children, and elders also felt the touch of visions. A mother might dream of golden fields, believing it promised a good harvest. A child might see a comforting figure offering kindness, and in the mornings, elders would gather to share and interpret these signs. In a land where nights were long and the world often uncertain, dreams gave hope, strength, and meaning. From the north, let us drift further westward, across the seas, into the lands of the Celts, where druids watched the stars and whispered secrets to their people. Here, too, dreams were honored, believed to carry messages from the other world, the realm of spirits and gods. Celtic seekers sometimes rested upon sacred ground, hoping for visions that might bring healing or wisdom. For them, the night was never empty. It was alive with voices, carried on the mist, woven into the rustling of trees, waiting in the hush before dawn. Picture a Celtic grove. Tall oaks standing in a circle, the moonlight falling gently upon moss and stone. A young druid apprentice lies upon the earth, breathing the cool night air, waiting for a dream. A vision of the goddess, perhaps, or a glimpse of hidden knowledge. In such moments, sleep was not just rest. It was ritual, a sacred act that bound human hearts to the unseen world. And as the winds carry us onward, let us not forget the native peoples of distant lands, far beyond Europe, in the vast forests and plains of the Americas. Here, too, dreams were cherished. Many believed that while the body rested, the spirit wandered, meeting ancestors, speaking with animals, or walking through hidden realms. Some tribes crafted dream catchers, delicate circles woven with string, hung above sleeping places to filter dreams, allowing only the good to pass, while holding back the troubling ones, so that sleep might remain peaceful. Among these people, elders listened carefully to the dreams of children, teaching them to honor what they had seen. Even the simplest vision was treated as a gift, a whisper from the great mystery that moved through all things. To them, dreams were not private shadows, but treasures to be shared, understood, and remembered. So, dear listener, as we move from Norse halls to Celtic groves, from the fire-lit lodges of native tribes to the temples of Asia and the deserts of Egypt, do you feel the pattern? Do you sense the unbroken thread? For everywhere, in every age, humans closed their eyes with reverence, trusting that in sleep they were never alone, that dreams held meaning, that visions carried power. Across the earth, the night itself was seen as a teacher, a healer, a guide. Let your own breath slow now, as if joining those ancient dreamers. Feel the warmth of the fire, the rustle of leaves, the hush of desert winds, the hum of crickets, all blending together into one eternal night. And let the thought ease into your heart that you too are part of this endless tradition. Every dream you carry connected to theirs, across centuries, across oceans, across the boundless mystery of time. So let part 4 fade, like embers glowing softly in the dark. The Viking laying down his cloak, the Druid resting beneath the moon, the child safe beneath a dream catcher. Each of them closing their eyes, drifting as you too may drift, deeper, softer, into the tender embrace of ancient dreams. The night deepens as we step further into the tapestry of ancient dreams, and the hush of time surrounds us, softer than silk, warmer than candlelight, carrying us gently to places where people once closed their eyes and drifted into mysteries of sleep. In the ancient world, to dream was not only to wander within one's own mind, but to step into a realm thought to be connected with the divine, with gods, with spirits, with forces that shaped destiny itself. Dreams were seen as signs, as maps, as doorways. Imagine, dear listener, a Mesopotamian priest standing under the faint glow of a torch. Clay tablets spread before him, symbols pressed carefully into soft earth. These tablets recorded dream omens, line after line, each describing what a dream of a river meant, or of a lion, or of a falling star, and how each vision might whisper the future of kings and kingdoms. When a villager came with a dream to share, the priest would listen with patience, tracing patterns of meaning from the oldest records, offering gentle words of comfort and guidance. Dreams of water were most common, perhaps because people slept near rivers, hearing the current whisper through their rest. Water became a symbol of journeys, of renewal, of change, carrying with it the weight of possibility. Far away in ancient Egypt, dreams were treated like divine letters sent from the gods, messages delivered in the silence of night, when the body was still but the spirit roamed. Temples built to honor the gods often had chambers where dreamers would come to rest in sacred silence, hoping to receive visions that could heal or guide them. This practice was called incubation, a sacred slumber beneath the watch of statues carved from stone. Priests would anoint the dreamers, wash them with oils, and leave them lying upon smooth linen, waiting for the gods to step into their slumber and show the path they must walk. Many of these dreams carried images of serpents, of falcons, of the river Nile flowing endlessly. Each image held a meaning woven through time, decoded by priests who devoted their lives to the study of symbols, whispering softly to those who sought guidance, as though the gods themselves spoke through the night. And across the Mediterranean, in the world of the Greeks, dreams took yet another form. They believed the god Morpheus was the shaper of dreams, wrapping sleepers in visions as if molded from delicate clay, each carrying truths, lessons, or mysteries. To the Greeks, dreams could reveal not only what might come, but also who one truly was. In sanctuaries dedicated to Asclepius, the god of healing, people came seeking rest. They lay upon the stone floors, hoping that in their dreams the god himself would appear, showing remedies, offering cures, guiding them toward health. At dawn, priests listened carefully to each dream, then suggested herbs, rituals, or prayers inspired by what the night had revealed. To sleep in those places was to lie between worlds, neither fully mortal nor fully divine, held in the arms of mystery. One might awaken with a new sense of harmony, or simply with the feeling of having touched something sacred. As centuries flowed, dreams continued to shape belief. Even in Rome, dreams were honored as signs of guidance. Leaders, families, and poets alike turned to them, believing that visions of the night carried wisdom for choices yet to come. To ignore the language of dreams was to overlook a gift from the unseen world. Now, dear listener, imagine yourself walking softly into such temples, carrying your own dreams like fragile treasures, waiting for someone to unwrap their meaning, waiting for a wise voice to tell you what the night has revealed. In this moment, you realize how deeply humans across time have leaned upon their dreams, treating them as sacred companions, not just fleeting illusions of sleep. And as you listen to this story, perhaps you feel the same gentle pull of slumber, as though the ancient rhythm of dreams is calling to you too, reminding you that each dream you carry holds a piece of your own hidden story, woven softly in the fabric of night. The night continues to unfold, dear listener, and as you rest, let us drift deeper into the gentle sea of ancient dreams, following the threads of belief and wonder that stretched across civilizations. Each dream a tiny flame glowing in the darkness, each vision a whisper between worlds. In the great valleys where people first built their cities, dreams were not random. They were messages, they were signs, they were gifts. Each time the eyelids grew heavy, each time the body sank into stillness, the mind entered a sacred place where mysteries walked softly in silence. Among the Babylonians, dreams were so deeply respected that they created detailed lists known as dream books, inscribed carefully on clay tablets to guide both rulers and ordinary people. Within these texts were thousands of interpretations. A dream of a feast might promise abundance. A dream of broken vessels might hint at loss. A dream of flying might be a message from the heavens. Each symbol carried its meaning gently across generations. These records were woven into the fabric of law, of leadership, of worship. No king would make great choices without first listening to the voice of the night. And across the sands of Egypt, dreams were not only guides, but also bridges to eternity. Egyptians believed that when the soul drifted into sleep, it touched the duat, the realm of spirits. And in those moments, the dreamer stood at the edge of forever, glimpsing what lay beyond mortal life. To them, a dream of the sun rising was not simply an image, but a sign of rebirth, of Ra's eternal journey across the sky, promising renewal. A dream of darkness suggested that balance had shifted, that harmony, long protected by Ma'at, might need to be restored. Priests and dream interpreters became keepers of this harmony, steadying the minds of those who brought their visions, offering rituals for peace, reminding dreamers that every shadow in sleep held meaning. Every vision was part of the cosmic order. In Greece, poets carried dreams into story, shaping myths that still echo. Homer spoke of two gates of dreams, one of ivory, bringing illusions, the other of horn, carrying truths. Through this image, the ancients wondered whether dreams could be trusted, whether the night's visions were real or fleeting, a question dreamers still ponder now. Imagine a traveler in Athens, lying under the star-filled sky, eyes closed, mind filled with images of rivers not crossed, voices not spoken, journeys not taken. At dawn, he carries these questions to the temple, whispering them to a priestess, hoping that somewhere in the folds of the dream lies his path. The Romans, inheriting so much from the Greeks, carried dreams into their own lives with reverence. Emperors recorded their visions, some holding them close with caution, others trusting them deeply. At times, even the great empire itself seemed to pause upon the uncertain meaning of a single dream, as though the fate of legions rested on the vision of one sleeping mind. And in every culture, from the high pyramids to the crowded markets, from palaces to quiet cottages, dreams were shared in the morning light, whispered by fires, debated in courtyards, recited like poems. Dreams were not only private secrets but communal mysteries, threads woven into the stories of families and cities. Even now, as you listen, you might feel how deeply our ancestors leaned upon dreams, how gently they held them, how carefully they carried their meanings. And as the weight of night gathers around you, perhaps you feel their same rhythm, the same wonder, the same drifting into unseen lands. So let the breath grow slower, let the body soften, let the heart find rest. Imagine yourself lying in one of those ancient chambers of sleep, stone walls cool and still, torches flickering softly, a priest waiting to hear your visions in the morning, and as your eyes close, the dream itself begins. Silent, vast, timeless, just as it always has been. The dream continues, dear listener, carrying us deeper into the hidden currents of the ancient night. In those quiet ages, people believed that dreams were not just flickers of the mind, but doorways into realms unseen, bridges where the human spirit might meet the divine. Long before great cities rose, tribes gathered around firelight. Among them were dream keepers, those who said they could walk the dream as though it were a real landscape, with rivers, mountains, and skies of its own. These were the healers, the vision seekers, who closed their eyes to journey not only for themselves, but for their people, returning with stories, guidance, and comfort, carried from the silence of the night. Picture such a circle, sparks rising gently into the dark, the sound of a drum steady and low, the shaman's breathing soft and deep. In the dream, an eagle might bring vision, a bear might carry strength, a serpent might whisper change. Each symbol, like a star, guided the lives of those who listened. Among the native peoples of the Americas, dreams were woven into daily life. Some believed that every child was born with a guiding vision, revealed slowly through their youth, and elders would listen with care, helping them discover the path it showed. Dream catchers, delicate circles woven of willow and sinew, hung above sleeping places, said to let only gentle dreams drift down like feathers, while troubling ones faded with the dawn. Across the wide steppes of Asia, shamans too carried drums painted with sun and moon, believing that rhythm could lift the spirit into the dream world. In those visions, they sought wisdom from ancestors, animals, or the great tree of life itself. Branches stretching toward the heavens, roots curling deep below. Each journey meant to bring healing or knowledge back to the waking world. In desert lands, dreams were seen as voices of the divine. Prophets listened to their visions as though the night itself were speaking. Some dreamed of stars, of harvests, of beasts and kingdoms, symbols that were said to reveal not only personal fate, but the destiny of entire peoples. And beyond these great stories, ordinary dreamers too carried their visions tenderly, wondering if rain in a dream meant blessing, if fire meant caution, if the memory of a loved one might be a gentle message from beyond. Everywhere, in every age, dreams were not seen as illusions, but as journeys. The dreamer was a traveler, carried across invisible bridges, gathering fragments of meaning, leaving only faint footprints behind as morning light returned. And now, dear listener, as your breath grows slower, perhaps you feel that same ancient pull, the steady rhythm of your own heart like a drumbeat, guiding you toward your own dream. Close your eyes and imagine yourself stepping into the warmth of the circle by the fire, the drum soft in the night, the voices fading, and the dream world opening before you. Gentle, timeless, waiting. The fire fades slowly, dear listener, and from the circles of shamans, we drift now into the grand halls of kings, where even crowns and armies could not silence the quiet power of dreams. For rulers across the ancient world leaned upon their visions as though they were gentle counsel from the unseen, whispers of guidance carried softly through the night. Picture a palace at rest, stone walls tall against the stars, torches glowing faintly in the courtyard. Inside, the chamber is hushed, curtains drawn heavy, and a king lies still, eyes closed, heart waiting, knowing that even a single dream might guide the fate of thousands. In Mesopotamia, where ziggurats reached toward the heavens, kings did not decide upon war or peace without first listening to dream interpreters. If fire appeared in a vision, it was taken as warning. If rivers overflowed, it was seen as blessing. On clay tablets, priests recorded these signs with care, reminding their rulers that the night was another battlefield, one where omens spoke before swords ever clashed. Far across the sands, the pharaohs of Egypt also listened to their dreams, for they were seen not only as kings, but as chosen of the gods. Legends tell of Thutmose IV, who, resting near the Great Sphinx, dreamed the mighty statue promised him the throne if he would free it from the sand. When he awoke, he obeyed, and his reign carried that dream into history, carved forever in stone. In Greece, visions were sought in sacred temples, where priests guided rulers through symbols that could steady a hand or stay a fleet. Even Alexander the Great, whose journeys carried him across continents, trusted his dreams. One vision of a dancing figure was read as a sign of triumph to come, and when events unfolded as foretold, his faith in the mystery of sleep only deepened. Rome, practical in its roads and laws, still turned with reverence to dreams. Emperors recorded their visions, pausing in decisions when night shadows seemed uncertain. Constantine himself is said to have dreamed of a shining sign before a great battle, a vision that gave him courage and shaped the course of empire. Yet not every dream was a comfort. Some rulers awoke unsettled, fearing that a vision of falling stars or strange animals meant change ahead. Still, whether comforting or uncertain, these dreams reminded them of their humanity, reminded them that even the most powerful were dreamers too. So imagine, dear listener, the weight of a crown set aside for the night, as the ruler closes his eyes and drifts into the same silence as the shepherd, the farmer, the child. For in sleep, all are equal. All are guided by visions they cannot command. Dreams belong not only to palaces, but to huts and hearths, to every soul who lays their head down and surrenders to the night. And as you rest now, let that thought soften you, that you too are part of this same ancient pattern, drifting where kings once drifted, where villagers once whispered their dreams by morning fire, carried together in the endless sea of night. From the palaces of kings we now drift, dear listener, into quieter chambers, into places where those seeking comfort once lay upon cool stone or simple mats, trusting that the dreams of night might bring ease. For across the ancient world, sleep was not only rest but also medicine, and dreams themselves were thought to carry remedies for the body and the spirit. In Greece, sanctuaries of Asclepius, the god of healing, welcomed the weary. There, beneath marble columns and the calm gaze of statues, people rested in sacred silence, wrapped in linen, their breath rising softly through the hall, waiting for a dream to bring relief, waiting for a vision where the god might appear. This practice, called incubation, was believed to invite healing dreams. Some saw visions of clear water and were guided to bathe in springs. Others dreamed of fire and were cleansed with warmth. Some dreamed of animals leading them through meadows, and they were told to walk in nature for their strength to return. The dream itself became the prescription, the night itself the physician. In Egypt, temples also became places of healing sleep, where incense drifted gently and chants lulled the dreamer. Visions of gods like Sekhmet or Isis were said to appear, and priests carefully recorded each symbol, drawing meaning from what seemed like a letter written by the divine. Imagine lying there, dear listener, the air cool and still, the stone beneath you steady, a torch flickering faintly on the wall. You drift into slumber and dream of light touching your body, of warmth filling your chest, of gentle voices guiding you toward balance. When morning comes, you feel lighter, as though the night itself has already begun the work of healing. The Romans carried this tradition forward, building upon the wisdom of Greece, and many traveled far to sleep in sacred places, believing that health could be restored not only by herbs and hands, but also by visions of the night. Yet healing through dreams was not only in temples. In villages and tribes across the world, elders and wise women listened closely to dreams, offering remedies guided by symbols of sleep. Among the native peoples of the Americas, animals in dreams often brought healing paths. The bear for strength, the eagle for vision, the deer for gentleness. In Asia, too, healers looked to dreams as mirrors of inner balance, reading symbols to restore harmony between body and soul. To dream of being chased was not simply fear, but a sign of unrest within. To dream of falling was a call for protection. By easing the dream, they eased the day, blending sleep with healing in an endless circle. And so, across time, healing was found not only in potions or prayers, but also in the gentle belief that night itself carried medicine, that when eyes closed, the mind opened to a world where ancestors and spirits walked, ready to mend what was broken, ready to restore what was lost. Perhaps even now, dear listener, you feel that same comfort. The sense that in sleep your body renews itself, that in dreams your mind releases burdens, that each night carries a quiet cure, unseen but real, soft as breath, steady as the heart. So rest now. Let your body sink deeper. Let your thoughts drift softer. For just as the ancients believed, the night is a healer, and every dream may yet be a gentle medicine, mending you quietly, endlessly beneath the stars. The night deepens, dear listener, and as the echoes of healing dreams drift softly away, we turn our gaze outward to the quiet rhythm of the natural world. Long ago, many people believed that dreams were not separate from life, but woven together with the movements of the heavens, the whisper of the wind, and the subtle signs of the earth itself. Everywhere, nature and sleep were seen as partners in a larger rhythm. A storm rolling over the mountains might be reflected in a dream. A comet blazing across the night sky might appear as a messenger of change. A bird flying over water might become a gentle guide in slumber. In Mesopotamia, priests watched the stars and studied the skies, and when someone shared a dream, they sometimes compared it with the movements above, believing both sky and sleep carried meaning. A dream of rising waters might be linked to heavy rains, a dream of fire to a bright light in the sky. Each vision seen as part of a larger story, helping people prepare for what lay ahead. Among the Celtic peoples of Europe, dreams too were closely tied to the land. It was believed that rivers carried whispers, that the wind held messages, and that the flight of birds across the sky could mirror paths yet to come. A dream of deer moving gently beneath moonlight was thought to bring peace, while the sight of a raven might be taken as a call for attentiveness and courage. Imagine, dear listener, a young druid lying upon soft moss, eyes closed beneath a sky filled with stars, listening to the hush of leaves and the trickle of a nearby stream. In his mind flow images of animals and rivers, guiding him toward wisdom. connecting his dreams with the quiet heartbeat of the earth. In Egypt, dreams were also read alongside the turning of the stars and the cycles of the Nile. A vision of a bird in flight might be connected with the season of planting. A serpent might be understood as a reminder of caution. Every dream was seen as a thread linking the heavens, the earth, and the human spirit. In China, Taoist scholars spoke of balance, yin and yang, water and fire, earth and sky. They believed dreams reflected these same harmonies, showing patterns of health, fortune, and change. A dream of gathering clouds might be taken as a sign to prepare for rain, or as a symbol of opportunities waiting just beyond the horizon. Among the native peoples of the Americas, dreams were inseparable from nature as well. The vision of a wolf might be seen as guidance, the image of a storm as a reminder of renewal, a falling star as a sign of beginnings. The dream world and the natural world were not apart, but woven together like threads of the same fabric. And so, across many cultures, the message was gentle and clear. Sleep was not only rest, but part of a larger dialogue with life itself. Nature was seen as a companion to the dream, reminding people to notice, to listen, and to live in harmony with both the visible and the unseen. So now, dear listener, as you close your eyes and let your breath grow softer, imagine yourself beneath those same stars, the wind brushing lightly across your skin, the rustle of leaves in the night air. Know that your dreams, too, are part of this timeless rhythm, connected with the skies, the rivers, the forests, and the quiet heartbeat of the world itself. And as you drift, let these visions mingle within you like gentle light, carrying guidance, comfort, and the reassurance that the night, the earth, and your own spirit are always in conversation, weaving meaning through the tender patterns of sleep. And so, dear listener, as the whispers of nature fade softly into the night, we turn our gaze inward once more, to the ways in which dreams shaped the hearts and minds of ancient people. For sleep was not only a mirror of the world outside, but also a canvas upon which the imagination painted. And through these visions, music, art, and stories found their first life. In the caves of prehistoric humans, long before cities or temples, walls bore the marks of dreams, images etched in ochre and charcoal depicting animals, hunts, and otherworldly figures. And scholars believe that these images were inspired not only by daily life, but by visions seen in sleep. Fleeting fragments of imagination and memory interwoven, carried into the waking world through trembling hands and the desire to remember. Imagine, dear listener, a young person in a dim cave, lying close to the warmth of a fire, closing their eyes and seeing shapes moving in the darkness, strange and beautiful, the form of a bison with wings, or a river flowing through the stars, and upon waking, they take stone and pigment, pressing these visions into permanence, creating art that speaks across millennia in Egypt, dreams-inspired songs and poems, hymns to gods and goddesses, prayers carved into temples or written on papyrus, for each dream held a story, a meaning, a rhythm, and musicians and scribes would transform visions of night into melodies and words, capturing the emotions of sleep, the sense of mystery, the gentle lessons whispered in silence. And in Greece, poets and storytellers often credited dreams as the source of inspiration, believing that the muses visited not only in waking life but also in the quiet depths of slumber, shaping tales of heroes, gods, and distant lands. And these stories traveled orally, carried through generations until they were inscribed, performed, and sung, carrying the power of dreams into waking minds. Consider the musician in a small village, fingers touching strings or reeds, closing their eyes and hearing in their mind the music of the stars, the rhythm of the wind, the whisper of ancestors, all from a dream. And when they play, the audience feels the presence of night itself, as though the dream has crossed the boundary into the waking world across Asia. Dreams were translated into calligraphy and painting, where a vision of a landscape might be expressed with ink upon silk, capturing not the exact form but the feeling, the essence of the night's vision, allowing others to glimpse what had been seen in slumber, to feel the quiet awe of dreaming, to walk alongside the dreamer in the imagination. Even in the Americas, native peoples wove dreams into storytelling, combining them with dance, masks, and song, so that visions of animals or spirits could teach lessons, preserve history, and connect the community. And each dream-inspired performance became a bridge between generations, a shared experience of the mysteries of night art. Music and story all became a form of conversation with dreams, a way to honor the messages of sleep, a way to carry visions beyond the fleeting moment and give them permanence. And in this way, the night's whispers shaped culture, belief, and the very way humans expressed themselves across time. And you, dear listener, as you drift now, may feel the same currents, the same subtle inspiration flowing through your own mind. Each memory, each thought, each image a tiny spark from the vast, ancient web of dreams, carrying both beauty and wisdom, carrying both wonder and peace, soft as the hush of a forest, steady as the river's flow. Let your thoughts mingle with these visions. Let the music of unseen worlds rise and fall like gentle waves. Let the stories of long ago wrap around you like a warm blanket, guiding your mind deeper into rest, into calm, into the quiet embrace of sleep, where imagination and history meet, where dreams shape reality in ways unseen but always felt. And so, the dream continues, flowing silently through the hearts of those who listen, connecting every age and every soul. For as long as humans close their eyes and breathe, the night remains a canvas, the dream remains a guide, and creativity itself is born from the tender, mysterious light of slumber. The echoes of music, art, and story fade softly into the night, dear listener. And now we drift into the sacred, into the realm where dreams and devotion touched one another. In many ancient traditions, sleep was seen not only as rest, but as a moment of reverence, when visions of the night were thought to carry meaning beyond the self, reaching into the mysteries of the divine. In Egypt, it was believed that dreams could carry sacred messages, and so temples were built not only for prayer and ritual, but also as places of quiet rest. Those who slept within their walls often hoped to be touched by visions that revealed wisdom, guidance, or healing. Some of these dreams were carefully recorded on papyrus or carved into stone, each one seen as a thread connecting human life with the greater order of the universe. Imagine, if you will, a devotee lying upon cool stone, incense drifting upward into the night air, the faint sound of chanting fading into silence. In sleep, they might dream of rivers flowing with light, of birds crossing the sky as messengers, or of symbols that seemed to whisper instruction. Upon waking, the dream became part of their path forward, a memory to guide them gently through the days ahead. In Greece, too, dreams were woven into devotion. Many traveled to temples of Asclepius, the god of healing, to practice a ritual known as incubation. They rested upon sacred beds, surrounded by offerings, entering sleep with quiet anticipation. It was said that the visions they received could bring comfort, guidance, or even healing. The process was slow and gentle, a way of opening the heart to the subtle wisdom of dreams. In Mesopotamia, kings and citizens alike saw dreams as signs from beyond, visions to be read with care, for within them, people believed they might discover how to live in harmony with the unseen forces shaping their world. Across the deserts of Arabia, long after, dreams were also seen as moments of revelation, offering warnings, courage, or insight when words of the waking world could not. Each night carried the possibility of something profound, waiting in the quiet between breaths. Among the indigenous peoples of the Americas, dreams often carried sacred weight as well. Visions of animals, ancestors, or guiding figures were honored through song, dance, and ceremony, keeping the wisdom of the night alive within the community and linking each dreamer to generations before them. To dream in these many places and times was to take part in a kind of ritual, a gentle surrender to the unknown, a way of listening to voices softer than speech, carried in symbols, images, and feelings. The dreamer was never truly alone, but surrounded by the quiet presence of all who had dreamed before, and all who would dream after. And so, dear listener, as you lie here in rest, imagine the hush of ancient temples, the glow of torches in the dark, the faint trace of incense curling upward. Let your own dreams feel like a form of devotion, a conversation with the unseen, carrying wisdom, comfort, and peace into the hours of night. As your breath slows and your body softens, feel this ancient thread of connection flowing gently through you. Know that you too share in the timeless rhythm of sleep, walking the same path as countless dreamers across the ages. And within that path lies quiet guidance, waiting to carry you softly into rest. The sacred hush of temples and the dreams of the divine fade softly into the night, dear listener. And now we drift onward into the footsteps of wanderers and seekers. For in the ancient world, many believed that sleep carried guidance not only for the heart and mind, but also for the journey ahead. That dreams could become maps, whispers leading travelers across mountains, rivers, and seas. From the deserts of Arabia to the plains of Mesopotamia, people often trusted visions in sleep to reveal safe paths, warn of danger, or promise prosperity. Families would rest beneath the stars, carrying little more than the essentials of life, yet holding faith in the vast, invisible map of the night. Imagine a family preparing to leave their ancestral home. Tents folded, animals ready, the desert cooling as dusk settles. As they drift into sleep, dreams appear. Perhaps a river bending to the left, a mountain shaped like a face, or an eagle soaring toward the horizon. They wake with steady hearts, taking these images as gentle signs, stepping into the unknown with quiet confidence born of the night. In Greece and Asia Minor, sailors and traders often looked to dreams as they set out upon the sea. Some thought that the gods of the waters spoke in symbols, or that the whisper of the wind in the sails echoed visions already seen in slumber. A dream of a hidden harbor might offer comfort before the voyage, while a vision of storm clouds might prepare the mind for caution. Across Africa, elders and leaders sometimes drew meaning from dreams when guiding migrations. A vision of fertile soil or flowing water could suggest safety and abundance, while barren landscapes in sleep were taken as signs of caution. In this way, dreams were woven into the choices that shaped communities, blending night's visions with the rhythm of survival. Among the peoples of the Americas, dreams of animals, ancestors, or guiding figures often inspired journeys across rivers, forests, and plains. These visions were honored as part of the living bond between people and the unseen world, teaching that even in sleep, guidance might come to help the community thrive. In Asia, nomadic tribes often listened to the dreams of their elders around the fire, interpreting visions of skies, rivers, or herds as signs for the days ahead. In this way, the night became both a teacher and a companion, its soft voice woven into the steps of daily life. Even rulers and leaders, it was said, sometimes heeded dreams when making great decisions: when to march, when to pause, when to seek new lands. A single vision might be remembered as a turning point, a river crossing found, a safe mountain pass discovered. Stories told of those who prospered by following their dreams, and of others who faltered when the visions were ignored. Yet the ancients also knew that dreams spoke in symbols, that their meanings were delicate, layered, and subtle. Interpreting them was an art, an act of patience and wisdom, passed carefully from one generation to the next. Now, imagine the traveler beneath a wide, starlit sky, the cool breeze brushing the skin, the quiet hum of night surrounding them. They close their eyes and slip into a dream of rivers, hills, and hidden paths. Maps not drawn on parchment, but carried in vision, guiding each step until morning light. And so, dear listener, as your eyelids grow heavy, think of those countless wanderers, guided gently by their dreams, stepping into the unknown with faith in the whispers of the night. Let their journeys remind you that every path, whether of body or spirit, can be touched by the quiet wisdom of sleep. As you drift deeper, feel the night enfolding you, linking you with dreamers of long ago, those whose visions shaped migrations, whose sleep guided humanity forward. And know that in your own slumber, you too may walk unseen paths, carried by the same gentle, mysterious hand of dreams. And so, dear listener, as the paths of travelers fade gently into the night, we turn softly toward the tender realms of the heart. For across the ancient world, many believed that dreams carried not only guidance for journeys or sacred counsel, but also quiet messages about love, family, and relationships. Whispers of the night offering symbols, reflections, and gentle possibilities to those who paid attention. In many traditions, a dream of a partner, a lover, or a child was taken as a sign, an image that might hint at what could unfold. Families sometimes looked to these visions for inspiration in shaping marriages, alliances, or the care of children, believing that sleep revealed both the hidden desires of the heart and the mysteries of connection. Imagine, dear listener, a young woman in a Mesopotamian village, lying on a woven mat beneath the glow of an oil lamp. As she drifts into slumber, she dreams of a man offering her a flower, its petals glowing with golden light, the air sweet with jasmine. Upon waking, her family elders discuss the vision, listening for meaning, treating the dream as a gentle message from the night. In Greece, too, dreams were thought to shape bonds of affection and harmony. Young people sought visions of future partners, while parents considered whether marriages would bring joy or stability. Some believed that the gods themselves might place symbols into sleep, offering clues about who would bring happiness and who might be best avoided. In Egypt, pharaohs and commoners alike looked to dreams as part of family life. A vision of the Nile overflowing might be taken as a blessing for a newborn, while the image of protective animals could be seen as a call for vigilance. Dreams of smiling ancestors were often embraced as signs of harmony and approval across generations. Among the native peoples of the Americas, visions of birds, rivers, or stars appearing in sleep were sometimes understood as messages about love, timing, or partnership. These symbols were honored as part of the bond between individuals, families, and the unseen world, weaving dreams into the rhythms of life. Across Asia as well, dreams were often seen as reflections of emotion and harmony. Families and elders listened to them for insight into relationships, household peace, or the unfolding of destiny, balancing desire and duty with the quiet voice of the night. Even rulers, dear listener, are said to have looked to dreams in these matters. Kings and queens sometimes placed meaning in visions of their children, partners, or possible alliances, letting such symbols influence choices that reached beyond the household and into the fate of entire dynasties. Now, picture a quiet home at night, firelight dim, voices hushed, the gentle breath of a child asleep. In that calm darkness, dreams appear. A smile, a shared laugh, an ancestor's protective presence. Upon waking, these visions bring reassurance, warmth, or thoughtful reflection, as though the night itself had offered a moment of comfort. Across centuries and continents, dreams have been seen as guides to human connection, weaving bonds of love, family, and community. They remind us that even in rest, we are part of a larger fabric, linked to those we care for, to those who came before, and to the unseen threads that shape our lives. And so, as you rest now, let your own heart soften. Let the night carry gentle images to you, visions of harmony, of care, of bonds that nurture and protect. Drift deeper into this quiet wisdom of sleep, trusting that in dreams, as in life, love and connection are never far away, but always softly present, watching over you with calm and timeless grace. The tender visions of love and family drift softly into the night, and we turn now to the vibrant, communal world of celebrations, rituals, and festivals. For in many ancient traditions, dreams were not only personal guides, but also inspirations for gatherings, moments of music, movement, and togetherness that shaped community life. In Mesopotamian villages, dreams of abundance or flowing rivers were sometimes taken as signs of good fortune, prompting people to join in song, dance, and shared meals, offering thanks for blessings imagined in sleep. A vision of a bright sun or a fruitful field might be retold at dawn, its meaning woven into the rhythms of daily life and communal celebration. Imagine, dear listener, a village square at twilight. Children playing softly along the edges, elders preparing food, musicians tuning strings and drums. Those who had dreamed the night before step forward to share their visions. Animals crossing rivers, stars shining brightly, gentle voices carried on the wind. The community listens, and then together they rise in song and dance, transforming private dreams into shared joy. In Greece, dreams sometimes inspired plays, festivals, or hymns in honor of the gods. A vision in sleep could become part of a performance in daylight, retold as music, poetry, or theater. Through this weaving of dream and art, the city drew closer together. Each person reminded that imagination and reverence belonged not just to the individual, but to the whole community. Egypt, too, held space for dreams within its festivals, a dream of falcons in flight, of rivers swelling with life, or of radiant light was sometimes honored through processions, offerings, or music. In these moments, night and day intertwined, linking visions of sleep with the sacred rhythms of water, sky, and temple. Across Africa, dreams were often part of planting rituals, harvest dances, or rites of passage. A vision of rain, animals, or fire might be interpreted as guidance, helping communities choose when to gather, when to sow, or how to celebrate life's transitions. Dreams, in this way, became a hidden thread, stitching ceremonies together across generations. In the Americas, dreams of animals, stars, or ancestral voices guided the flow of festivals and dances. The rhythm of drums, the movement of dancers, and the placement of offerings sometimes echoed what had appeared in the night, as though dreams themselves were choreographing the steps of the community. And in Asia, dreams blended into ceremonies honoring ancestors and the unseen. Families shared visions, weaving them into rituals of gratitude, remembrance, and harmony, ensuring that the quiet messages of the night found their place in the shared life of the people. Now, dear listener, picture the soft beat of drums, the glow of torches, the scent of flowers and incense drifting through the air. People move in rhythm, slowly and gently, transforming visions into song, into dance, into celebration. Every heartbeat echoes the memory of night. Every step honors the dreams that shaped it. Across lands and centuries, dreams have inspired ceremonies that bound people together, turning the private language of slumber into shared meaning, shaping festivals, dances, and rituals that carried imagination into the daylight. And so, as you rest now, let yourself hear the distant pulse of drums, see the flicker of torches, feel the warmth of voices joined together. Allow yourself to drift deeper, carried on the gentle current of night, where dreams are not only personal guides, but also gifts to the community. Threads of joy, harmony, and belonging, stretching across time and softly into your own sleep. The gentle echoes of festivals and communal joy fade softly into the night, and we now turn to the quiet pursuit of wisdom. For in the ancient world, dreams were not only guides of the heart or inspirations for gatherings, but also gateways to knowledge, reflection, and understanding of the universe itself. In Mesopotamia, scribes and scholars sometimes treated dreams as part of their study, believing that visions in sleep could reveal patterns unseen during the day. A dream of stars moving in harmony or rivers flowing in rhythm might be reflected upon carefully, recorded on clay tablets, and woven into early ideas about balance, cycles, and the mysteries of the cosmos. Imagine, dear listener, a lone scribe in the glow of a small lamp, clay tablet ready at hand, stirring from slumber with a memory of planets shifting in graceful silence. They sit quietly, noting these impressions, reflecting on what the dream might mean, whether a sign of the seasons, a thought on harmony, or simply a whisper from the night that sparks new wonder. In Greece, philosophers often spoke of dreams as gentle teachers, subtle invitations to reflect on the self and the world. Thinkers like Plato and Aristotle described them as opportunities for contemplation, for considering truth, ethics, and the invisible threads that hold life together. Dreams, for them, were not just passing images, but openings to deeper thought and reflection. In Egypt, priests and learned scribes recorded dreams with care, seeing in them both symbols of order and reminders of the rhythms of nature. A dream of overflowing rivers might be considered alongside observations of the Nile. A vision of stars could be set beside charts of the night sky. In this way, the dream world and the waking world became gently intertwined, each helping to explain the other. Across Asia, traditions of philosophy and medicine regarded dreams as glimpses into balance and harmony. A vision of water moving between mountains or of light flashing across a field might be taken as a reminder of the natural order, of health, or of the quiet principles that sustain life. Dreams were approached not only with reverence, but also with curiosity, blending feeling with thought. In Africa, elders sometimes described dreams as vessels of wisdom, carrying lessons from ancestors and memories from generations past. By listening to dreams, young people could learn responsibility, foresight, and care for others. Teachings that were not always spoken directly, but passed gently through symbols of the night. In the Americas, many peoples wove dreams into philosophy through stories, proverbs, and reflections. A vision in sleep might become a tale told around a fire, offering lessons about harmony, patience, or respect for the natural world. Dreams, in this way, became teachers for both individuals and communities, reminding all that wisdom could arrive quietly, in silence and in slumber. And so, dear listener, as you rest now, imagine yourself as one of these seekers of old. Feel the calm of night surrounding you, your breath steady, your thoughts softening. Allow images to rise and fall gently like waves, carrying small sparks of understanding, subtle reminders of balance and harmony. Let your body sink deeper into rest, your mind calm and open, as though dreams themselves are softly teaching, gently guiding. Know that you share a connection with those across centuries who found meaning in the night, who trusted that sleep could bring not only rest but also wisdom. As your eyelids grow heavy, let yourself drift deeper into the embrace of sleep, where insight may arrive not as loud voices but as whispers, where clarity is revealed not in struggle but in stillness, and where rest itself becomes a quiet teacher, illuminating the pathways of thought, spirit, and peace. The gentle flow of wisdom and reflection from sleep settles softly into the night. And now we turn to the realm of guidance, courage, and leadership. For in the ancient world, dreams were often entrusted with weighty matters, offering counsel not only to individuals, but also to those who carried responsibility for entire communities. In Mesopotamia, leaders and advisors would rest with care, listening for visions that might suggest safe paths, wise timing, or ways to bring harmony to their people. A dream of rivers, walls, or animals could be seen as quiet counsel, its images considered with patience, and its lessons shaping choices for the days ahead. Imagine, dear listener, a guide lying upon a woven mat, the glow of torches flickering gently, drifting into sleep. In their dream, they see a field divided by a river, with figures moving like shadows along its banks, and a hawk circling above, pointing toward the safest crossing. Upon waking, the vision becomes a symbol of balance, of wise preparation, of choosing carefully how to move forward. In ancient Greece, leaders often turned to interpreters of dreams before making important decisions, believing that visions carried subtle indications of opportunity or caution. Philosophers like Plato even described dreams as inspiration for thoughtful action, reminding their students to reflect deeply on the line between truth and illusion. In Egypt, dreams of animals or divine symbols were taken as meaningful signs. A lion might suggest strength, a crocodile caution, a falcon the blessing of watchfulness. priests carefully recorded such visions, blending observation, intuition, and spiritual insight to guide leaders toward choices rooted in harmony and foresight. Across Asia, wise elders saw dreams as quiet teachers of timing and preparation. A rising sun, a fallen tree, or an animal crossing a path could all be read as encouragements or gentle warnings. Dream interpreters became trusted advisors, linking the unseen messages of night with the visible realities of the day. In Africa, communities listened to the dreams of their leaders and elders, considering visions of landscapes, ancestors, and animals as guidance for unity, protection, and wise decisions. Ignoring such counsel was believed to bring imbalance, while listening with care could nurture stability and well-being. In the Americas, many peoples honored dreams as collective messages. Chiefs and elders reflected upon visions of animals, stars, or spirits, sharing them with their communities so that choices could be made together, weaving courage, foresight, and harmony into the fabric of daily life. Imagine, dear listener, the hush of a camp at night, the earth cool, fires glowing faintly, voices quiet. A leader dreams of distant hills, of safe passages, of the shifting balance between shadow and light. Upon waking, these symbols are shared with care, not as commands, but as guidance meant to nurture safety, unity, and peace. Across time and civilizations, dreams shaped leadership, decisions, and the ways communities moved forward. They remind us that even in moments of rest, the mind and spirit are engaged in gentle activity, listening to currents unseen, connecting each person to wisdom beyond themselves. And so, dear listener, as you rest now, feel your awareness soften, your thoughts grow quiet, and let the echoes of these ancient visions touch your mind. Not with urgency, but with calm. Allow dreams to guide you not toward struggle, but toward balance, courage, and clarity, showing you the quiet strength within as the night whispers its timeless counsel through the unseen, gentle currents of sleep. As the echoes of strategy, courage, and leadership fade into the quiet of the night, we now turn to the gentle world of health, healing, and the human body. In ancient times, dreams were often seen as quiet messengers, offering guidance about well-being, balance, and the hidden connections between mind, body, and spirit. In Mesopotamia, those who cared for others sometimes looked to dreams for understanding, a vision of flowing water, a bird moving freely, or a tree mending its branches was thought to reflect balance returning, health renewing, or harmony being restored. These gentle images became symbols of reassurance, reminding people that healing could come slowly, softly, and with patience. In Egypt, dreams were considered part of the path to wholeness. Temples were built as places of rest, where those seeking peace might sleep in quiet spaces, hoping for a vision that could inspire comfort or clarity. The night itself became a sanctuary, where dreams carried encouragement and gentle direction. In Greece, stories told of dreams linked to Asclepius, a figure of healing, where people believed that visions during sleep might point toward healthy choices or calming practices. These dreams were written down, read carefully, and remembered, blending thoughtful reflection with care for both body and spirit. In Asia, early traditions of medicine often described dreams as reflections of balance within. Images of water, fire, or the stars in motion were seen as subtle reminders of harmony, guiding choices in diet, rest, and daily living. Dreams became part of understanding the natural rhythms of life and how they touched human health. Across Africa, dreams were valued for the ways they connected people with their inner world and community. A vision might be understood as encouragement to seek balance, to live gently, or to restore peace within and around. Healing was seen not only in the body, but in the harmony of one's whole being. In the Americas, many communities treated dreams as teachers. Symbols of animals, plants, or stars were reflected upon, guiding people toward calming practices, restorative remedies, or ways of living more peacefully with nature and each other. Dreams, in this way, became gentle companions in the care of life. Imagine, dear listener, the soft hush of night air, a person resting deeply, and a healer sitting nearby, listening not only to breath and heartbeat, but also to the quiet symbols that dreams reveal. Each image carries a message of balance, each vision a gentle reminder of the body's wisdom and the calm strength that lives within. Across time and cultures, dreams were seen as part of healing, soft bridges between what is seen and unseen, reminders that well-being is more than physical, that it flows also through mind, spirit, and the mystery of night. And so, as you rest now, let your body loosen, your breath grow gentle, and your thoughts soften into quiet rhythm. Allow the ancient sense of care to touch you, guiding you toward balance, renewal, and peace. In the stillness of sleep, know that you are supported, and that the night holds you in a tender current of harmony and calm. The gentle currents of healing and wisdom settle softly into the night. And now we drift into the world of creativity, imagination, and expression. In ancient times, dreams were often seen as quiet seeds of inspiration, giving birth to art, symbols, and images that carried the beauty of the night into the light of day. In Mesopotamia, artisans and scribes sometimes awoke with their minds full of patterns, shapes, or celestial images. These gentle visions guided their hands as they carved, painted, or inscribed, turning fleeting dreams into lasting works that connected people with mystery, meaning, and beauty. Imagine, dear listener, a sculptor in a quiet courtyard, working softly under the glow of the moon. In sleep, they had seen a spiral of stars, or a bird gliding gracefully across water. And now, with each careful stroke, those dream images begin to take shape in stone or clay. The unseen becomes seen. The imagination of night becomes a gift for the day. In Egypt, dreams inspired the symbols that decorated temples and sacred spaces. A vision of the sun traveling across the sky, or a bird soaring above the river could guide artists in their use of color, form, and pattern. Gentle reminders of harmony, protection, and the rhythm of life. In Greece, dreams were woven into sculpture and painting, inspiring figures that seemed to step out of the imagination itself. Artists gave form to dreamlike gestures, flowing robes, and luminous faces, creating works that carried the essence of both night and day, reminding all who looked upon them of the closeness between dreaming and waking life. In Asia, visions from sleep influenced calligraphy, design, and architecture. A dream of mountains, rivers, or drifting clouds might inspire a brushstroke or a carving, blending meditation, beauty, and balance. The act of creation became a way to honor the delicate images gifted by the night. Across Africa, dreams offered guidance for creating masks, sculptures, and woven patterns. Shapes and lines carried stories of ancestors, nature, and spirit. ensuring that the dream world was gently woven into daily life and culture. In the Americas, dream visions found their way into patterns, carvings, and textiles. Images of animals, stars, and natural forces were transformed into symbols that held wisdom, identity, and belonging, turning personal dreams into a shared language of art. Imagine again, dear listener, a quiet workshop or studio, a small flame flickering nearby, and the soft movement of brush or chisel. The dreamer works gently, allowing images from the night to flow through their hands into form, creating something that will last beyond the moment. Across time and lands, dreams have guided art and imagination, shaping patterns, colors, and symbols that speak of beauty, harmony, and wonder. They remind us that sleep is not only a time of rest, but also a time of creation, a bridge between the unseen and the seen, the imagined and the real. And so, as you lie quietly now, let your own imagination open softly. Allow gentle shapes, colors, and images to float through your mind, each vision a ripple of inspiration, each dream a thread in the tapestry of your inner world. Let these currents carry you deeper into rest, where creativity and peace mingle in the quiet rhythm of sleep. The visions of art, symbol, and imagination settle gently into the quiet of night. And now, we turn to the world of sound, rhythm, and music. In ancient times, dreams were often seen as the birthplace of melodies, chants, and rhythms, shaping celebrations, gatherings, and the heartbeat of culture itself. In Mesopotamia, musicians sometimes awoke with melodies echoing from their sleep, inspired by the sound of rivers, the call of birds, or the whisper of wind through reeds. These gentle impressions guided them in creating patterns on drums, flutes, or lyres, weaving the music of the night into daily life. Imagine, dear listener, a musician resting beside a softly glowing lamp, dreaming of rustling trees, distant voices, and the hum of the sky itself. Upon waking, they translate those subtle sounds into notes and rhythms, allowing the dream to become harmony, a quiet gift shared with others. In Egypt, the songs of temples were shaped by visions of flowing water, rising light, or protective animals. Musicians and singers turned these impressions into chants and hymns, offering melodies that echoed both devotion and beauty. In Greece, too, artists of sound often spoke of dreams as inspiration, translating shifting tones and harmonies from sleep into music that touched the heart, reminding listeners of the closeness between dreaming and waking. In Asia, dreams were thought to influence chants and meditative rhythms, with images of mountains, rivers, or birds shaping the flow of melody and the balance of sound. These musical impressions reflected both nature and the inner quiet of the dreamer. Across Africa, dream-inspired rhythms guided drummers, singers, and dancers, carrying images of ancestors, landscapes, and stories into sound that united and uplifted communities. In the Americas, dreams influenced songs and chants that connected people with the natural world and with one another, weaving images of animals, stars, and the sky into music that carried both meaning and calm. Imagine again, dear listener, the gentle murmur of a flute, the steady beat of a drum, and voices rising together in soft harmony, all inspired by the subtle language of sleep. In these sounds, the unseen becomes audible, and the night's quiet gifts are shared through rhythm and melody. Across cultures and centuries, dreams shaped music and song, turning fleeting impressions into patterns that soothed, guided, and inspired. They remind us that sleep is not only rest but also creation, a space where sound and silence meet, and where beauty is born in stillness. And so, as you lie here now, let your breath fall into a gentle rhythm. Imagine soft melodies filling your awareness, each note a whisper of calm, each pause a moment of peace. Allow yourself to drift deeper into rest, carried by the imagined music of the night, where every dream flows like a song, weaving harmony and serenity through your being. And so, dear listener, as the gentle music of dreams and the rhythm of night flow softly through your mind, we now turn to the vast and mysterious world of travel, navigation, and exploration. In many ancient traditions, dreams were seen as quiet companions for those who ventured across land and sea, offering inspiration, imagery, and guidance for journeys that stretched beyond the familiar. In Mesopotamia, travelers and merchants sometimes recalled visions of rivers, roads, or starry skies upon waking, and these impressions were woven into their plans, blending dream with observation as they set out across distant landscapes. Imagine, dear listener, a navigator resting in the hush of night, maps and charts nearby, drifting into sleep. In the dream appears a winding river, a flock of birds, or a glowing horizon. Upon waking, these images become gentle suggestions, inspirations for choosing direction, preparing supplies, and stepping forward with confidence. In Egypt, voyagers along the Nile often spoke of dreams before travel, recalling images of flowing currents, bright skies, or protective figures. These night visions, remembered at dawn, added reassurance as boats glided along the river's steady path. In Greece, too, travelers sometimes reflected on dreams before setting out to sea or across mountains. A vision of calm waters, a distant shore, or a constellation overhead might be seen as encouragement, guiding their hearts with quiet hope. Across Asia, explorers and traders often combined the memory of dreams with the knowledge of stars, forests, and rivers, letting the imagery of night mingle with practical wisdom to help them move with awareness through unknown terrain. In Africa, nomadic peoples and caravan travelers sometimes recalled dreams of animals, clouds, or oases. These impressions became part of their journey stories, helping them remain alert to the rhythms of land and sky. In the Americas, elders and explorers often treated dreams as gentle teachers, reflecting on visions of rivers, mountains, or animals before hunting, trading, or traveling. These stories were shared as guidance, weaving imagination with the practical wisdom of experience. Imagine again, dear listener, the soft sway of a boat on moonlit water, the hush of wind moving through sails, or the quiet steps of travelers crossing hills beneath the stars. In these moments, the dream world and the waking world seem to touch, and inspiration from the night becomes part of the journey. Across time and cultures, dreams have shaped the way people traveled, discovered, and connected with new places. They remind us that rest itself can be a kind of journey, one that carries us toward clarity, creativity, and gentle guidance. And so, as you lie here now, feel your own mind opening to quiet pathways of imagination. Let the wisdom of night flow softly through you, like a river carrying you toward peace, calm, and restoration. May your dreams, too, become gentle maps, guiding you not across deserts or seas, but deeper into serene, renewing sleep. The gentle currents of exploration and reflection fade softly into the quiet night. And we now turn our attention to the profound realms of spirituality, meditation, and inner awareness. In many ancient traditions, dreams were regarded as quiet portals, inviting humans to explore the unseen, offering moments of insight, contemplation, and connection with the deeper currents of life. In Mesopotamia, those devoted to meditation and reflection would enter sleep with intention, hoping for visions that could illuminate understanding, inspire ethical living, or guide thoughtful action. For dreams were seen as subtle teachers, offering glimpses into patterns of harmony, balance, and personal insight. Imagine, dear listener, a devotee reclining on a mat within a quiet chamber, incense curling gently into the still air, the flicker of a single lamp casting soft shadows. As sleep draws the mind inward, gentle images appear, flowing rivers of light, patterns shifting in harmony, or scenes that spark reflection. And upon waking, the devotee carries these impressions into meditation, contemplation, or daily choices. In ancient Egypt, dreams were valued as bridges to reflection and personal insight, often occurring in peaceful spaces near the Nile or within special rooms set aside for rest and focus. Nighttime visions inspired guidance, reassurance, or understanding, and individuals reflected on these images to cultivate calm, clarity, and thoughtful action. Even in Greece, philosophers and seekers explored dreams as pathways to self-awareness, ethical reflection, and understanding the rhythms of life, seeing sleep as a time to consider virtue, balance, and the harmony between action and consequence. Nighttime visions were treated as gentle invitations to consider choices, habits, and inner growth. In Asia, dreams played a role in meditation and reflective practice, guiding adherents to explore the flow of energy, the balance of mind, and the cultivation of calm, focus, and awareness. Images of mountains, rivers, and quiet natural scenes provided inspiration, encouraging thought, mindfulness, and insight into the interconnectedness of life. Across Africa, spiritual leaders and wise elders interpreted dreams as reflections of inner wisdom, moral insight, and guidance for daily life, linking meditation, ritual, and reflection in a seamless tapestry, where sleep became a gentle teacher and the night a quiet companion. In the Americas, indigenous peoples valued dreams as a source of insight, personal reflection, and inspiration, often sharing visions with the community to support understanding, guidance, and thoughtful living. Dreams were honored as gentle sources of wisdom, helping individuals connect with nature, community, and their own inner knowledge. Imagine, dear listener, the stillness of a quiet room, the faint scent of incense, the gentle flicker of candlelight, as your mind softens, breath deepens, and images arise, flowing rivers, glowing stars, patterns of light, each carrying subtle guidance, calm, and insight, supporting thought, reflection, and inner harmony. Across cultures, dreams were treasured as tools of reflection, insight, and mindfulness, reminding humanity that sleep is more than rest. It is a space for inner exploration, thoughtful reflection, and the gentle cultivation of awareness and calm. And so, as you lie here now, feel your own awareness soften. Let the gentle flow of night visions guide your mind toward clarity, relaxation, and reflection, and allow yourself to drift into serene, restorative sleep, where calm, insight, and quiet understanding merge seamlessly into the tender embrace of night. The sacred currents of imagination and reflection settle softly into the night, and we now drift into the world of storytelling, myths, and the preservation of cultural memory. In many ancient traditions, dreams were the seeds of stories that endured across generations, shaping values, ethics, and the identity of communities. In Mesopotamia, scribes and storytellers would awaken from sleep with vivid narratives of heroes, moral lessons, and fantastical events. These nocturnal visions were recorded, shared in gatherings, and passed down through performance, ensuring that the imagination of one mind in sleep became a heritage of shared memory and understanding. Imagine, dear listener, a storyteller reclining beside a fire in the quiet evening, the soft crackle of flames accompanying the gentle murmur of night winds, as sleep delivers visions of clever heroes, wise leaders, or curious creatures. Upon awakening, the storyteller weaves these images into tales, song, and drama, creating stories that guide understanding, reflect values, and inspire wonder. In ancient Egypt, dreams inspired narratives that explained the cycles of the sun, the river, and life itself. Scribes and artists captured these visions in symbols, paintings, and writings, ensuring that the reflections and insights of sleep informed both personal thought and the shared consciousness of the community. Even in Greece, dreams influenced epic tales, poetry, and theater. Visions of challenges, moral dilemmas, and the natural world provided rich material for stories exploring human nature, ethical choices, and the rhythms of life, allowing lessons from sleep to resonate across time. In Asia, dream narratives shaped folklore, legends, and moral tales, blending observation of nature with reflections on human behavior. Images of animals, natural events, or celestial patterns inspired stories that educated, guided ethical understanding, and connected generations through shared narrative memory. Across Africa, dreams informed oral traditions and communal history, preserving the wisdom of elders, ancestors, and the environment. Night visions acted as narrative seeds, offering guidance and reflection that could be shared with children, neighbors, and future generations. In the Americas, indigenous peoples drew inspiration from dreams to craft myths, ceremonial stories, and allegorical narratives. Visions of landscapes, animals, and daily life informed the structure and meaning of oral traditions, creating living stories that nurtured both individual reflection and community understanding. Imagine, dear listener, the soft glow of a fire, the gentle murmur of listeners leaning forward as the storyteller recounts the visions of night, heroes navigating challenges, lessons hidden in nature, and reflections on human experience. And allow yourself to drift gently into these narratives, feeling the connection between imagination, memory, and reflection. Across civilizations, dear listener, dreams shaped storytelling and cultural memory, linking imagination with values, entertainment with reflection, and personal insight with shared understanding. Sleep becomes not only a time of rest, but a space for imagination, reflection, and the quiet transmission of knowledge. And so, as you lie here now, let the visions of night mingle with your mind. Allow the stories, lessons, and images of dreams to flow gently through your awareness and drift into deeper calm, where imagination, memory, and insight merge seamlessly into the serene embrace of sleep, carrying you into rest that is both restorative and filled with gentle wonder. The timeless stories of myths and cultural memory fade gently into the night. And now, we turn to the quiet rhythms of the earth. In the ancient world, dreams were often seen as gentle reflections of the land, guiding the cycles of planting, harvest, and humanity's deep connection to nature. In Mesopotamia, farmers and villagers sometimes reflected on their dreams, noticing how images of rainfall, fertile soil, or wandering animals might echo the changing seasons. A vision of rivers or clouds in sleep could be taken as a quiet sign of timing, a suggestion for planting, irrigation, or harvest, weaving the imagination of night into the work of daily survival. Imagine, dear listener, a farmer resting on a mat in the cool evening air, the soft scent of earth and grain around them. As sleep deepens, they dream of golden fields swaying in the wind, rain falling gently from distant clouds, or a fox moving carefully among the crops. These dream images, upon waking, inspire reflection on how to nurture and protect the land with care. In ancient Egypt, dreams were often connected to the rhythms of the Nile. The river's seasonal floods determined planting schedules, and dream symbols of water, soil, or abundance were interpreted alongside observation of nature, helping communities prepare for the cycles of fertility and growth. Even in Greece, farmers sometimes noticed patterns in dreams that seemed to echo the weather or the seasons. Visions of sun, rain, or wind might be seen as gentle reminders to sow seeds, tend vines, or prepare for harvest, blending the reflective wisdom of sleep with practical experience. In Asia, visions in sleep were often considered to mirror seasonal changes and the balance of nature. Images of rivers, mountains, or celestial movements could inspire reflection on when to plant or gather, helping farmers align their lives with the flow of the natural world. Across Africa, elders and communities shared dream stories that connected to climate, animal migrations, or fertile fields. These night visions were often seen as reminders of harmony, encouraging respect for the land and balance with the natural environment. In the Americas, indigenous peoples sometimes drew inspiration from dreams when preparing for planting or hunting, weaving together observations of rainfall, soil, and migration with the symbolic guidance of night. These stories reinforced the bond between people, land, and the cycles that sustained them. Imagine, dear listener, the quiet hum of a village at night, the soft rustle of grain, the whisper of wind through trees. Those resting in sleep dream of fertile fields, flowing rivers, and abundant harvests, their minds gently mirroring the rhythms of the earth. Across civilizations, dreams helped people reflect on agriculture, seasons, and the natural world, reminding us that sleep is not only rest, but also a space where the mind and nature converse in symbols, offering calm insight and quiet guidance. And so, as you lie here now, let your thoughts drift like grains carried on the breeze. Allow the gentle rhythms of the earth to enter your awareness, carrying you into deep, restorative sleep, where rest and nature flow together in serene harmony. The gentle rhythms of the earth and the cycles of nature fade softly into the quiet night. We now arrive at a space where all the threads of dream, wisdom, art, music, exploration, healing, spirituality, storytelling, and guidance converge. For in the ancient world, sleep was seen not only as rest, but as a vast inner landscape where the imagination reflected human thought, action, and creativity. Imagine, dear listener, lying in your own quiet space, your body softened into calm, your mind drifting like a feather on a gentle breeze, as the currents of history, knowledge, and nocturnal vision flow softly through your awareness. Within these reflections echo the voices of Mesopotamian scribes, Egyptian priests, Greek philosophers, Asian sages, African elders, and the indigenous peoples of the Americas, each finding meaning in the quiet, symbolic world of dreams. In Mesopotamia, dreams were thought to influence kings and healers, to inspire artisans, and to suggest melodies to musicians. These night visions, whether taken as guidance or inspiration, connected imagination with daily life. In Egypt, dreams were tied to the rhythms of the Nile. Rulers, farmers, and artists looked to symbols from sleep alongside nature's patterns, allowing imagination and reflection to guide both grand monuments and everyday rituals. In Greece, philosophers and leaders considered dreams as part of life's puzzle, weaving them into thought, creativity, and moral reflection. Across Asia, sages and meditators sometimes drew insight from nocturnal images, using them to encourage balance of body, mind, and spirit. In Africa, dreams carried ancestral stories, animal symbols, and community meaning, reinforcing ties between generations. In the Americas, night visions were woven into myth, ceremony, and seasonal life, connecting reflection and practice in ways that honored land, water, and sky. Imagine, dear listener, the soft glow of moonlight touching distant hills, the rustle of leaves in the night breeze, and the quiet ripple of rivers flowing under starlight, as you sense the timeless tapestry of human experience, woven from countless reflections, stories, and night visions across the ages. Across all civilizations, sleep was valued as a sacred pause, a place of renewal, reflection, and imagination. It invited people to listen inwardly, to connect the seen with the unseen, and to balance the inner world with the outer. And now, as you rest here, feel your awareness soften, your breath slow, your heart fall into the rhythm of the night. Allow yourself to drift into the embrace of sleep, where imagination, history, nature, and quiet restoration merge into one boundless calm. Take a slow breath in, let it out gently. With each exhale, tension melts away. Let your muscles loosen, your mind soften, your body grow heavy and at ease. Feel the safety of this moment, the quiet of the night holding you, guiding you into rest. Each breath carries you deeper, deeper into comfort, deeper into calm, deeper into peace. Your eyelids grow heavier, your thoughts lighter, your spirit serene, as the story of ancient dreams settles softly within you. Allow the quiet wisdom of history, imagination, and rest to carry you into sleep. Take one last gentle breath in, release it slowly, and drift now into deep, restorative slumber. You are safe, you are calm, and the night carries you tenderly into peace.